Marketing AI Radio, your shortcut to building smarter AI-driven marketing organizations.
All right, so you sent over this article about AI marketing, and it feels like, AI is everywhere we look these days, but this one, I don't know, it just really clicked with me. Like, it wasn't just about all the techie stuff, It was about, like, how can you actually use this to, like, boost your sales, right? Or find new customers. And I mean, let's be real, that whole 80% of marketing driven by AI by 2025, I mean, it's exciting, right? But it's also kind of like, okay, I need to catch up.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in all the hype. I've seen it firsthand. Companies get so caught up in the AI buzz that they forget the most important thing, strategy.
Totally. And that's actually, the article uses this great analogy. It's like having this whole orchestra, right, at your fingertips. But if you don't have a conductor, if you don't have a vision, you just have a lot of noise. It's not music.
It's so true. And I've seen it happen time and time again. They rush into buying all these fancy AI tools without really thinking about what they're trying to achieve. They think, okay, AI, that's cool, let's do it. But without connecting it back to their actual business goals, it just becomes another expense, not this game changer they were hoping for.
So how do we become those masterful conductors then? Like, what's the first step to orchestrate our own AI marketing symphony?
Well, the article really stresses setting tangible goals. And I don't mean something vague like, let's improve brand awareness. We need to get specific. Increase website traffic by 15%, or boost email signups by 20%. And that's where the whole idea of OKRs comes in, objectives and key results.
Okay, OKRs. I have to admit, it sounds a little, like corporate jargon. But I'm intrigued. Break it down for me. What are we talking about here?
Okay, think of OKRs like your marketing GPS. The objective is your destination, that big picture goal you're aiming for. And your key results, those are the measurable milestones, right, that tell you you're on the right track to actually get there.
So instead of just saying, let's, throw some AI at our social media, we'd say something like, our objective is to increase engagement by 15%, and we're going to measure that. We're going to reach that key result by using AI to, really fine-tune our content and when we post it.
Exactly. You're setting a very specific destination, and then you're using AI as the vehicle to get there. And the beauty is AI can actually keep track of all those key results for you. You know? It can show you what's working, what's not, and you can adapt your strategy on the fly.
That's huge. It's like having a co-pilot in the car who's also crunching all the data and keeping you on course.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our goals, right? We've got our AI co-pilot ready to go, but what are some of the ways AI can actually help us get there, reach those marketing milestones? I mean, I'm guessing it's not one size fits all, right?
No, definitely not. Think of AI as more of a Swiss Army knife for your marketing. It can handle a ton of different tasks: content creation, personalizing customer experiences, data analysis, I mean, you name it.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. Let's start with content creation, because that's something I think we can all relate to. And actually, the article brought up a couple of tools I thought were interesting, Jasper and Writer. Have you had a chance to play around with either of those?
Yeah, I've used them both, and honestly, pretty impressive. Imagine just putting in some basic information about, say, a product, the features, the benefits, whatever, and then boom, it generates a really catchy social media caption or even a whole blog post draft.
Wait, really? See, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Talk about a time saver, right? And not to mention a cure for writer's block.
Right, and the cool thing is these tools are designed to adapt to your brand's voice,
So it's not just spitting out generic content, it's actually trying to make it, fit your brand. Which kind of brings us to another thing that AI is supposed to be so good at, right? Personalized customer experiences. I feel like everybody's talking about personalization, but what does that actually look like in this brave new world?
Okay, so imagine this. You're on a website, and instead of getting bombarded by all these random ads and product suggestions, you're seeing stuff that's actually relevant to you. Like things you've bought before, things you've shown interest in. That's AI personalization in action.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But how do we actually make that happen? Is it just collecting a ton of data on our customers and hoping for the best?
Well, data is definitely important, but it's not just about having it. It's about knowing what to do with it. That's where AI tools like Movable Ink, Rasa.io, they can really shine. They take all that customer data you have, they analyze it, figure out the patterns, and then they personalize everything from like your email subject lines to product recommendations, and they do it all in real time.
Oh, wow. Okay, so instead of blasting everyone with that same generic, hey, we're having a sale email,
Right.
you could have AI craft individual messages, right? Like, hey, we know you love that blue sweater you bought last time, so we thought you might like this new striped one.
Exactly. You're creating those moments where the customer's like, wait, how did they know that about me? It makes them feel seen, like you actually get them.
It's like having a mind-reading marketing assistant.
Right. And the more data these AI tools have, the better they get at predicting what your customers want, even before they know it themselves.
That's a little scary, but also amazing. Speaking of data, though, that's another area where the article really highlighted the power of AI. I'll admit, data analysis isn't exactly my favorite thing. Spreadsheets and we have a complicated relationship.
I hear you.
But the article made a really compelling case for why we should all be paying attention, whether we like it or not.
Oh, absolutely. Data can be a gold mine, right? Yeah. But you need the right tools to dig for it. And that's where AI comes in. It can sift through mountains of data in seconds, and uncover insights that would take us, hours, days to find on our own.
So instead of drowning in spreadsheets, we can have AI do the heavy lifting and then just give us the Cliff's Notes version.
Exactly. The article mentioned Tableau AI, Power BI, and Metabase. I don't know if you've heard of those.
I've heard of them. I haven't really, gotten my hands dirty.
Yeah, well, they can connect to all your data sources, your website analytics, your CRM, social media, all of it. And then they use all these fancy machine learning algorithms to analyze everything and generate these really cool dashboards and reports, and they're actually easy to understand.
Okay, so instead of just seeing a jumble of numbers, I'm actually getting clear takeaways that I can use.
Yes. Say you want to know which social media channels are sending the most traffic to your website. Instead of logging into each platform individually, pulling data, comparing it, all that, you just look at the Tableau AI dashboard and boom, you can see immediately which channels are performing the best and why.
That's incredible. It's like having a personal data scientist on call, but without the massive bill.
Precisely. And that brings us to another way AI is transforming marketing automation.
Automation, the marketer's best friend. Tell me more. How can AI help us finally ditch some of those tedious, repetitive tasks that seem to eat up our entire day?
We're talking scheduling social media posts, sending out email campaigns, even qualifying leads, all those things that you wish you could just hand off to someone else, right?
It's like you're reading my mind. But seriously, imagine if you actually could. What if you had an assistant who could handle all those things, never slept, never missed a deadline? That's what's so cool about AI automation tools.
Exactly. And there's some really cool platforms out there, like Make, for example. You can actually build these custom workflows to automate all kinds of stuff. Posting content on different social media channels at the same time, pulling data from your CRM to send personalized follow-ups, you name it. And then there's Descript. That one's a game changer for audio and video editing. It can transcribe everything, generate subtitles, even help you edit out all those ums and ahs we're always trying to get rid of.
Wow, that's next level stuff. Makes me realize just how manual my process still is. But, it does make you wonder, with all this talk about AI, is it eventually just going to replace marketers altogether? Are we all out of a job?
I get that question a lot. And honestly, I think it's looking at it the wrong way. It's not about replacement. It's about, AI giving us superpowers, augmenting what we can already do.
I like that. Augmentation, not replacement.
Right. It's about working smarter, not being replaced by robots.
Although some days. So if you had to give one piece of advice to a marketer who's, just dipping their toes into the AI waters, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to experiment. Start small. Pick one thing you think AI could help you with and try out a couple different tools. A lot of them have free trials or, those freemium models so you can really get a feel for what works for you without spending a ton of money.
Such good advice. It is easy to get overwhelmed. There's so much out there. But sometimes you just got to jump in and play around. Now, before we wrap things up, there was this one line in the article that really stuck with me. It talked about how access to these sophisticated instruments of AI is becoming more and more widespread. And it just got me thinking.
It's a really interesting point. What happens when everyone has access to these powerful tools? Does it level the playing field so, smaller businesses can compete with the big guys? Or does it create a whole new set of challenges we haven't even thought of yet?
Yeah. Feels like we're standing at the edge of this whole new world for marketing, which is exciting, but, maybe a little bit terrifying at the same time.
Totally. We're all kind of figuring it out as we go.
Right.
But it's going to be fascinating to see where it all leads.
Well said. This has been such a great conversation. I feel like I've gone from AI curious to actually, ready to take some action.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. And hey, remember, the most important thing is to stay curious, keep learning, and never be afraid to try something new.
Words to live by.
Thanks for listening to the show today. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Visit us at marketingfrontier.ai for more resources, tools, and expert advice. And until next time, keep pushing the boundaries of what AI can do for you.